I never imagined that after surviving all types of abuse, depression, anxiety, alcoholism, and suicidal attempts that um I would have to battle with my own body. But I know God has been faithful thus far and through every chapter of my life, and this time it'll be no different, y'all. And many of you have walked with me through my testimony, and today I want to just share another chapter of it. For a little over a decade, especially the last 2 years, I knew something wasn't right. I couldn't explain it, but I knew that my body was changing. It was like it's getting like degrading. One minute I'm reading just fine, and the next I'm holding everything further away. It looked like somebody shrunk the words. And I finally had to get glasses, I believe, late last year or earlier this year. And I remember laughing, saying, "Ooh, Lord, what's going on?" And looking back, like I said, it all makes sense now. It took countless doctor's appointments, specialists, scans, and what seemed like endless blood tests. I still think that's the reason I'm anemic, but it's not. But anywho, I finally got some answers, y'all. And I'm sharing this because I know some of you are waiting on answers or have answers, living with chronic pain or trying to make sense of a diagnosis that changed your life. Maybe you're wondering why God hasn't healed you yet, or just maybe you're afraid of what the future holds. You know, I've asked the hard questions, and I'm pretty sure y'all asked the hard questions too. But my prayer is by the end of this video, you'll leave with more hope than fear. So today I was diagnosed with osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, and sarcoidosis. And what surprised me the most is that one of these conditions had likely been in my body since like 2012 when the symptoms started happening. No one knew, and it took years for everything to finally come together. And all the doctor visits that I had, even while active duty, I would always hear, "Oh, you're too young for this. You're too young for that. Well, this looks like sarcoidosis, but yeah, I don't think you have that." One minute I'll go in and, something messed up. Then the next time, "Oh, we'll see you in 4 months." 4 months later, everything's back right. For years, I just couldn't understand why I was having on and off chest pains or like pain in my heart or why my rhythm changed. And I knew something wasn't right. Like, don't nobody heart rhythm just change, y'all. Now, after receiving this diagnosis today, it brings everything together. My doctor also told me that, when your heart pumps, that one of my chambers is like blood left behind in it and it's not supposed to. And hearing that should have filled me with fear, but guess what? It didn't. I never want people to think that just because I smile, though, or encourage others or talk about my faith, that it means that my life is just super easy now. You see, social media, it only shows the highlights, but behind many smiles are battles no one else sees. And that was the same for me when I was going through my depression phases and feeling suicidal and, yeah, still smiling. But this time, my smiles is genuinely, and they come from Jesus Christ. And I'm not sharing this to gain sympathy at all, because, I mean, what can words do? Nothing. I'm sharing this because I want to point you to the same peace and confidence that I found in Jesus. That's what's behind this smile. Some days, I can't move like I used to, and some days the pain and my joints are so stiff that I can't even move, but it makes something simple so difficult. Some days I randomly drop what I'm holding on to because my hands don't want to cooperate with my brain. It's just like it's moving on its own time and don't want to open things or anything. Some days I'm short of breath. I have nodules in my lungs they move from spot to spot, y'all. It's been going on for, like I said, over a decade. And my body reminds me daily that, hey, something ain't going right. And I want to say that sometimes people don't understand that a chronic illness doesn't just affect your body, it affects your relationships too. Sometimes people only see what you can't do anymore. They don't realize that it hurts you just as much to say, "I can't do that," as it hurts them to hear it. Rheumatoid arthritis and sarcoidosis, they're serious autoimmune diseases, and some of the medicine that's used to treat them are also using chemotherapy, although they're given at a much lower dose for autoimmune diseases. And that can sound overwhelming, but my confidence isn't in a medication or a diagnosis. My confidence is in Jesus. And I am thankful for the doctors and for the answers they've helped me find. And I believe God has given them the wisdom to care for people. I surely do. But I also know the great physician still has the final word. I'm believing God for healing, y'all. But even while I wait, my hope isn't dependent on my health. My hope is in Jesus. His presence has given me more peace than any diagnosis could ever take away. Faith doesn't mean that we pretend we're not hurting. It means we know who to run to when we are. I still believe Jesus heals. I still believe he works miracles. And I know and I believe that nothing is impossible for my God. If he chooses to heal me here on this earth, I'll praise him. And if he chooses to just help me along this journey, I'll still praise him the same, because my faith, it isn't based on my circumstances. It's based on Jesus. These diseases, they may affect my body, but they'll never stop my faith. These diseases may affect my body, but they'll never stop my faith. They won't steal my joy, and they won't steal my hope. They won't silence my testimony either, y'all. Jesus is with me, and because he's with me, fear doesn't get the final say. The enemy thought that the abuse would destroy me. He thought that depression would destroy me. He thought that the alcoholism would destroy me, or the suicide attempts would destroy me. But let me tell you something. If God brought me through all of that, I'm not about to let a diagnosis or two convince me to stop trusting in him. And as I look back over everything that I've been through, I've realized something. God has never, ever wasted a single tear. He's always used my pain to deepen my faith, my scars to encourage others, and my testimony to point people to him. I may never understand every reason why I walk this road in life, but I do know that he can bring purpose from even the hardest seasons, y'all. If my pain can help one person hold on to their faith, then none of this has been wasted. That's why I'm sharing this. Not for sympathy, not for attention, but because if someone has told me years ago that God could take a suicidal, broken, abused, alcoholic, low self esteem woman and fill her with his spirit, peace, purpose, and hope, I probably wouldn't have believed them. But today I'm living proof that he can. So if you're watching this and you received a diagnosis or waiting on one, wondering if your life would never be the same, don't lose hope. A diagnosis may change your body, but it doesn't have to change your faith. Jesus is still faithful, he's still a healer, and he's still walking beside you. And if he carried, well, you know what? No, I'm not going to say if, because he did carry me. He carried me through every chapter of my life, and I didn't realize it. So I know he can carry you through yours. And look where I'm at now from where I started. This body right here is temporary. One day these aching joints, they won't ache no more, and there'll be no more inflammation, no more shortness of breath, no more sickness, no more pain. And one day I'll either have a testimony that Jesus healed me here on this earth, or I'll stand before him completely healed in heaven. Either way, healing is coming. I've got heaven on my mind, and that gives me a peace that this world could never offer. And I'm here to tell somebody that your story isn't over. Jesus still changes lives, and I'm living proof of that. God bless y'all.